Okay, second grade friends, we are going to dive into our math lesson today by starting with our word problem. And I have a kind of disturbing story to tell you to start our problem today. So I have to let you in on a little secret. My least favorite thing in the whole world is mice. I can't stand mice. One time I saw a mouse in the kitchen and I screamed and I yelled at my husband and I said, Ian, come quick, there's a mouse. And I jumped up on a chair and it was terrible. And you'll never guess what my two little boys told me that they wanted the other day. They said they wanted pet mice. Oh, imagine this, boys and girls. This is my worst nightmare. But imagine this situation. Benny and Jack have 17 pet mice all together. Oh, can you see that in your head? 17 pet mice? Ooh, makes me shiver. How many mice might each child have? I can only imagine 17 pet mice in my house. Ugh. Let's take a look at our story problem today, our word problem on paper. You need to find two things, and then we're going to read our problem together. You need to find your bag of bean counters, and you need to take out your sheet from your math folder that says Lesson 9 Word Problem. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, scholars. Go find those things speedy quick. Give me a thumbs up in your screen when you have them and you're ready to go. Okay, my friends, let's look at this terrifying story together now on paper. Go ahead and track here as I read out loud. And you can read along with me in your head. Put your finger on Benny. Good. Here we go, friends. Try to see this in your brain as we're reading. Whoa. Benny and Jack together have 17 pet mice. How many mice might each child have? Boys and girls, I'm going to give you now 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, I want you to use any strategy that you want to show me how many pet mice each child might have. Remember, they have 17 all together. You can show your strategy in the box here. If you want to, but you don't have to, you can use your bean counters to help. You have 2 minutes of work time, boys and girls, and I'll check back in 2 minutes, and if you need a little more time, that's okay. Okay, our timer's up here. Remember, use any strategy you want to solve. Show your strategy in the box. You can use your counters if you want to help. And I'd check back in here and see by just having kids hold up their paper if they're finished and give them a little more time here if they needed a little bit more work time. Okay, friends. On the count of 3, I want you to hold up your work for me so I can see it super clear. Remember, when we hold up our work, we want to first check to make sure it's in the camera. So right now, I'm holding up my work, but you can't see it. I got to check my picture on the screen and make sure that I'm holding it in view of the camera. And also remember, we have to hold it super duper still like a statue. Can't wiggle it around, we can't wave it around because then I can't see it. So hold it up for me nice and still in your camera. On the count of 3, hold it up. 1, 2, 3. And here I would do a quick check and do some praising of students, just saying, good job, so-and-so, good job, so-and-so. But really, I'd be looking for 2 strategies that are different that I would want to share. I'd want to look for one strategy that's more concrete, so maybe a student who used counters and then drew a picture of counters to solve, and one strategy that's a little more pictorial or abstract, like maybe they drew a number bond or wrote a number sentence to solve. And then I can use those 2 student strategies to demonstrate for the rest of the class. And that would look something like this. Okay, boys and girls, what a great job you did showing your different strategies today. I want to share 2 student strategies that I just saw with you, and I'm going to model these strategies on my paper here. You don't have to write these with me, boys and girls. I just want you to watch and think and listen, and I'm going to have a question for you when I'm finished. Okay. The first strategy I want to share with you is Carlos's strategy. Here is what I saw Carlos do. Carlos used his bean counters to help him, and he counted out black beans and white beans to see how many mice each child might have. So he was pretending that the beans were the mice. And after he counted them, here's what he drew. I'm going to draw what he counted with his beans. He drew and counted 9 white beans. Count with me, boys and girls, to make sure I do it the right way, to make sure I show 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then he counted on from 9 until he got to 17. And he counted with his black beans like this. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And Carlos knew that there were 9 here, and he labeled it 9. And then he counted these to see how many the other child might have in order to get 17 mice altogether. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he counted 8. And then Carlos wrote at the bottom, Benny might have 9 mice, and Jack might have 8 mice. Great strategy, Carlos. Okay, the other strategy I want to share with you today was what I saw Jennifer do. I'm going to pick a little bit darker of a crayon here so you can really see that well. Okay. Jennifer used a 10 fact to help her think of one possibility here. And she showed her fact in a number bond. So she knew there were 17 mice all together, and that one part of 17 is 10. She knows 10 and 7 make 17. And then she wrote her thinking in a number sentence like this. She said 10 plus 7 equals 17. So Jennifer thought that Benny might have 10 mice and Jack might have 7 mice. I saw lots of other great strategies too, scholars, so great work today. I want you to keep these 2 strategies in mind because they might be helpful for you as we do more word problems throughout this week. Good job, friends. Go ahead and put this in your back to school folder. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to put it in that folder. I'm counting down from 10.